Hello. Welcome, Field Home Farm Sessions, episode 169. February 22nd, 2025. Did you friggin' miss me? It has been a long time, probably a week, I don't even know when, since I did this last one, and I'll tell you all about it. A little bit of a Chicken progress, some meetings, fucking snow, and the Four Nations Cup, and just our country and their country and whatnot. So, don't want to get on too negative. That's why I haven't been doing some podcasts because of the fact I've had a shit ton of breakdowns with my chickens and augers, and there's a cross auger. Anybody with chickens knows a cross auger comes out from the two bins, goes into the main barn. It's a major part of your operation, especially when your chickens get older. If it's a feed line, maybe you can get away with it a little bit, but when the chickens get older, the cross auger is detrimental to your operation. So, and when it gets really cold, it's been freezing up. I don't know if there's an airlock in there or something. So it gets a bit of ice, and the motor starts, and it breaks. So then, electrician came and fixed the motor. I thought, okay, here we go. This is it. And no. So after this flock, I'm gonna try to get the equipment company out and replace the whole frickin' thing. Put a bigger auger in and everything else. Because if I'm gonna be on the board and away at meetings and not home all the time. I do not want my wife to struggle with the shit that I've been struggling with the last little bit. It's not fun for anybody, and my shoulders are friggin' sore as hell from doing this too. So I'm on a little bit later than I usually am. And that's because of all those struggles. It seems every day in Northern Ontario, which is only northern Toronto an hour, but Northern Ontario, every day seems to be snow day and pushing snow. Kids had family day on Monday. This is Saturday right now. The kids had family day on Monday. They had the Friday off before, no buses, and then Monday was family day. Tuesday was a snow day, and Wednesday was a snow day, and then they finally went to school on Thursday, Friday. So it's been hell. Usually we get snow and it blows. Today, right this second, it is not snowing, and it's not bad out. It's a little bit warmer, -6, -7. BC girl love the snow updates because she has no snow in her little part of the world in BC. So Abbotsford. Shout out to my good friend Hubie Jen, who's in her bikini and G-string in Mexico with EV. EV's in his Speedo and flip flops and probably having a dart. Mexico down there. I remember. I used to. I'm not gonna say what I used to do, but anyways, back on those countries, like when you go on these all inclusives, it doesn't really matter where you smoke. It's kind of weird, but same as Vegas used to be the same. Doesn't matter if you smoke anywhere. I don't know who that's on. Welcome to the show. Emmett Foster's not on. I didn't give him the shout out. So Hubie Jen is down in Mexico, and when you look on your sheet to see who listens, and it's two downloads from Mexico, and she's waiting for my updated version, which is today. Like I say, I haven't had a ton of time. I didn't want to do a podcast with a negative podcast, and that's what it's been the last week, just with snow and breakdowns, and just the chickens will be going out in a couple days, and I'm thinking ahead of you got to get everything clean. Like we got snowbanks probably 20 feet high. It's not great. It could be worse, and it's not, so it's good that way. So shout out to Hubie Jen, Mexico. She'll be coming back. She's probably glad she missed all this shit. I think on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's supposed to be +3 around that in Ontario, so that'll be all right. Getting into the Four Nations Cup, which is a hockey tournament. Now, I don't know the history. I don't know whatever. I think it's the first Four Nations Cup. Canada, U.S., Finland, Sweden. And it was a big hoopla because Canada and U.S. and Trump is getting kind of. I don't like to get too political on my podcast, but Trump is causing a lot of shit and trying to be a bully and push his weight around and saying he wants tariffs from Canada and tariffs on Mexico, whose two biggest trading partners. Heaven forbid you put fucking tariffs on China and a bunch of other countries that are bringing shit in. Like, we need to team up as three countries. What do they call that? The Pan-American? Canada, U.S., and Mexico, instead of fighting each other. But getting back to the hockey. So Canada lost the first game in the round robin against the U.S. There's a few fights. I think I mentioned that in my last podcast. And they played 2 nights ago, the Four Nations Cup, and Canada fucking won. Excuse me, unedited water break there. Canada won, and everybody's saying like it's negative thoughts towards America. Now Americans are good. Most of Americans are good. Just because there's a president right now that is a little bit people don't like, I don't think you should hold the whole country to that. There's some bad Canadians, there's some bad Americans, but the majority of the Canadians, Americans are good. So, but on the other front, we won that hockey, and now it's back to the NHL and get back to regular hockey, and that's what we want to do. So, how are you, Hagman? So meetings, yes, I said I'm on the chicken board. I'm not officially on the chicken board yet, but now we have some meetings, and I'm trying to get my Teams meeting. Anybody that's computer literate knows about Teams and Microsoft and all that. Getting on that is not always the easiest challenge for me. So our first meeting that I sat in on, because we're moving offices from Burlington to Guelph, and Guelph is not ready, so we had an online meeting to discuss some different things. We have a meeting every month, so that was one of the meetings that we had. And that was, I was going to get back to the Four Nations Cup. So tariffs, and then they're talking about supply management and how it's bad and this and that, and they want to get rid of it. And I said, but then you say buy Canadian. So supply management makes sure that there's milk, eggs, meat, chicken meat, everything else for Canada and everything else. The states have their own kind of set of supply management in different states that we don't know about. Sugar, try to get sugar into the states. They won't let you do that. So leave our system alone. It's awesome, and it gives a fair price for farmers and a fair price for people. And there's feed companies, there's equipment companies, there's just different equipment companies. I mean, big equipment and other equipment that support every Canadian there is. And if you get rid of that and you're bringing in product from other places and other countries, you're taking away a lot of jobs from Canadians. So keep the supply management. We work at it. We don't get subsidies. And just it's a great thing having supply management. Now, if you don't want to know, if you say, it's crap and blah, 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 I said, look at other countries like Europe, a bunch of Europe countries, a bunch of UK. Denmark had supply management for a long time, opened it up, and they are not. Australia, for one, I remember Australia in the year 2000, they got rid of it. Got rid of a lot of small farms and went big, 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 and then farmers are in trouble half the time and asking for handouts. And with supply management, we don't have to do that. We look after ourselves. So, and you can Google that anytime you want. Getting back, so then, yeah, we had a couple meetings. So our big AGM for the chickens is coming up in March, and that should be awesome. Emmett Foster, Hubie Jen, KJ is supposed to be coming. Now KJ, I don't know what will be like with this up in Elmville where this Holstein tour is supposed to be. They've had roads closed for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so hopefully it's open next week, and all those tours that you want to do and have throw things around. And it's in Barrie, so maybe I'll come up one night. We have hockey in Barrie, so maybe I'll come up tonight for a couple drinks, couple sips. Mystery is on. What is the snow like in Georgetown? Because it is hell up here. Today it's beautiful, but it has been hell. Just insane amount of snow in Elmville. I was going to say way back when, this is a winter that we had about 10 years ago. Snowbanks and everything else. And where's our carbon tax, Mr. Trudeau? Where's our carbon tax? It's supposed to be, the world was getting warmer. There wasn't going to be as much snow. And then all of a sudden, it's almost hell. And all of a sudden we pay this carbon tax. It's supposed to be, this snow is not supposed to be there anymore. Maybe he'll say because we're paying the carbon tax, and that's why there's snow coming back. So elections. So we went in. My mom's going to be turning 80, so we're going to have an 80th party. She wanted it at a church. So my wife and I were out for dinner or lunch yesterday, and we stopped in just to book a church. And it's like, oh my God, there's early elections. So let's go in and do the election. So my wife is not very politically informed about some stuff. So we went up for our voting card, our ballot, and I had to give her the rundown of the political parties. Now, there's a shit ton of I'm getting in politics again. I'll wing it into politics, but There was a shit ton of political parties. I said you got the PC, who Doug Ford is technically in power at the moment. I guess everybody, it's a clean slate, but PC, you got Liberal. I don't even really know the Liberal candidate that much. The NDP, I think, is second in power. And then there's a bunch of different parties. An Ontario Party, which I've never heard of, a Blue Party, which I've kind of heard of, and then the Green Party. So basically, it's going to come down to the Liberal PC and NDP. It usually comes down to. So there might be a sprinkling of other parties, but we'll see what happens. Paul Vickers up in Grey County. We'll see if he gets in because Grey Bruce County. You see if he gets in. It's usually a PC. That should be interesting in November when we go down to Queen's Park with the chicken board to talk to people and talk to him and see him, because we used to have a couple drinks back in the day. So we'll see how that transpires. So I better get going. I got other stuff to do. Lunch. It's a day of my buddy Big Roy. Mystery will love this. Cleve, I don't need to know who you voted for, but that's obvious because he's Dougie is a good Dougie's a good guy, but won't get into too many politics. So Big Roy, Mystery will love this. Big Roy's daughter is getting married in this summertime. This year, so they're having a bridal party today. My wife's going to that, so I got to give a Big Roy a call and see if he wants to come over for a couple pops while my wife's over there at the party. And then they're going to be having their reception in our shed where we had my 50th Mystery. So Mystery was there, Emmett was there, a bunch of people. So on that note, I got to get the hell out of here, and I'll let you know everything else in a couple days. I haven't been on for a while, but thank you for listening. It's been great. Hold on. Thank you, the other two guys who've listened. Let me know.